came back with these comments saying, you know, it sounds like Bootsy in this part, and everything. I said, yeah, you really got, you know, you got your funk vocabulary there. And then he told me, well, no, that text was from JJ. Oh, okay. JJ knows his funk thing.
Certainly, Irv Kirchner was a gem.
Empire.
And I had a real great time with him. He was really very special. But JJ obviously is very special. And of course, George is very special.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Irv Kirchner is the director of the best Star Wars movie ever made, right?
Yeah. Empire.
There you go. Let's come to the middle. Let's do the gentleman in the green shirt and the red cap. What's your name, sir?
Hi, I'm Keith. Thank you for being here. I was wondering, during the filming of Empire, is there a particular scene or a particular moment that you were in that's your favorite, that stands out more than all the others?
Well, getting choked by Chewbacca.
That was my least favorite.
That moment for me. But going up against Darth Vader, or making an attempt, was a lot of fun. Of course, the scene when I meet Princess Leia, was a lovely little moment.
I always say he's the only one to raise his voice at Lord Vader and make it to the next scene.
Good. Do it.
All right, you just good to do it. Lord Vader, that wasn't a condition of our agreement. I was giving Han to that bounty hunter.
You feel being treated unfairly.
It would be unfortunate if I had to leave a garrison.
I don't know your name. Heather, let's go over to this Luke Skywalker replica jacket, right? There you go. What's your name, please?
Jeremiah.
He's nervous. Relax. It's fine.
With your artwork, I was wondering what you really enjoyed painting. Like, what was your favorite thing to paint?
Well, I paint just about everything. My paintings I have always regarded as self-portraits. Everything that I've experienced in my whole life expresses all of the obvious, not obvious, some obvious, some not obvious. I started out as a portrait painter. I like doing portraits. But I do different themes, anywhere between romance, which I love. I love romance. Just anything, everything. Anything that's interesting. I find the whole life experience has so many things to draw from.
So many mediums too. Like you do so many acrylics, you airbrush, you do pastel.
Airbrush was fun. Airbrush is really a lot of fun to work with. But I combine the airbrush with the regular brush.
Excellent. Let's go. Do we have any over here? Way in the back. Let's make Heather work it. You got me. The gentleman in the hat, the beanie. What's your name, sir?
Hello, my name's Evan. Thanks for having me. I'm a big fan of the 90s Star Wars audiobooks, especially your work in Dark Empire, because it was cool to see the character of Lando be expanded off the screen and more than just in the books. Do you have any special memories from doing any of the audiobook recordings?
Well, they just call me up and I go and stand before a mic and then they pay me some money and nothing. On to the next thing.
Well, here's a question that I think would be really cool, actually.
No, but I had a lot of fun.
I know you're not like it, but I think it's interesting working
No,
with
good
Donald
interjection
Glover
for that,
and
which a
trying
lot of
to
people
get
don't
him to
know.
embody Lando as
Billy
much
is
as
the only
possible.
actor in the Star Wars universe from the inception of Lando from The Empire Strikes Back all the way up until like last week. He does Lando's voice for literally everything. Robot Chicken, all the video games, the slot machines, in Vegas, all the audio.
What was it like working with him? How did you get him
He
to
is Lando Calrissian. That's it.
get the essence of Lando as best you could?
We're going to go over to Princess Leia in the back over here, Heather. It looks very authentic. Good job. What's your name, sweetheart?
My name's Lindsay. I wanted to know, what's your favorite moment on screen or off screen from filming Star Wars?
Favorite moment on screen or off screen? Hanging out with my son. That's one of my favorite moments. We've been buddies for a long, long time now, haven't we? Yeah, a little while.
A few years.
And then I have a
62
wonderful
years.
daughter from one of my marriages. And now I have wonderful grandchildren, which is I'm having a lot of fun with watching them grow up. So on screen, I don't know. I've done it for so long and for so many years, 60 years or more. I've had a lot of wonderful moments. Certainly in Star Wars, there was and the Batman. I always enjoy the craftsmanship of the people who put sets together. I find that really fascinating. There's some really extraordinary people who do some really amazing things with set designing and stuff of that nature.
Especially like when they did Jedi, a lot of that stuff was real.
Yeah.
It was before like all the CG developments that came about through the other Star Wars movies. But yeah, we had like when we were at the sail barge in Yuma, Arizona, it was a full size sail barge. You drove up onto that. It was like, wow.
So share with the group too, like Corey, why are you in Return of the Jedi? Like, how did that all happen? It's just good to know Lando.
Yeah, it was random. It was totally random. No, he asked me if I wanted to work. I was getting older and looking a little bit more like him and less like my mom. And it was like they asked me if I wanted to work as a stand-in for him. So when you work as a stand-in, they want somebody who looks similar to the actor, similar complexion, height. The more you look like the actor, the better. Because the camera crew uses you to set up the shots and do all the lighting while the actor sits comfortably in their chair. Sitting next to you or whatever, right? 110-degree heat. So that was my main function, was just to go there as a stand-in, which I reluctantly agreed to do because he said he was going to be doing it in Yuma, Arizona, and I was like, okay. But and Star Wars was very popular back there, but not like as legendary as it has become now. So I just went there as his stand-in. In one part of the scene, they dressed me like him, and when he's dangling on the side of the skiff in the very, very background. It's not me doing the stunt, it's a stunt guy. But it's a combination of he and I and the stunt guy. Like he's down in the pit doing close-ups and everything. But there was just one part where it flicks by, and I'm sort of dangling, and then you can kind of tell it's me because I'm kind of skinny and wiry looking. Lando Calrissian costume. And then they asked me to put on the platoon mask, which was just kind of random. It's like, you want to put this on? I was like, yeah, I'll put it on. Run that way, okay. Couldn't see where I was going. Didn't know what I was there to do, really. And years later, he comes to my house and says, you know that character, because I had a picture of it with the mask down in front of me, which a lot of you have seen. And he says, that character has a name and an action figure? I'm like, get out of here. You're kidding. Like, I could have been using that all this time. I'm an action figure. You can't talk to me like that.
Let's go to the back corner. The gentleman with his hand up. Keep your hand up, gentlemen, and then tell us your name when you have the microphone.
My name's Diego. Billy D, any funny stories that you can share from working on The Ladies Man with that funny cast?
Do you have funny stories from working on Ladies Man?
The Ladies Man, that was one of the funniest group of guys that, I mean, in that group of, well, there were all kinds of, they were all famous now, aren't they? Eddie Griffin, and what's his name, Chappelle?
Right. Chappelle was in that too.
Yeah, he was in it.
Before he became super popular.
Yeah. But it was one of the funniest experiences I ever had in making movies with those people. They're all crazy. Crazy people.
All right, Heather, let's come on this side of the room. We have a young lady here with a red stripe in her hair. I like that. What's your name?
My name is Tony. I'm going to date myself. But what is one of your favorite scenes from Mahogany?
Oh, kissing Diana.
Keep your hand up slightly.
He's
ready.
Yeah. Barry Gordy didn't like it. He didn't like the idea of me kissing Diana. No, but we had a lot of fun doing it. I had a lot of fun working with Diana. I mean, she and I worked very well together. There was a real good chemistry between the two of us. And I always felt like we were like little kids, having a lot of fun.
Okay, that's who we're picking. Well, I wanted him to go last because he's wearing the wrong Lando shirt.
That's why you got ignored.
What's your name?
My name's Brandon.
You want to see it? It's embarrassing. All right, show everybody your wrong Lando shirt.
It's Donald Glover.
All right, what's your name?
I'm Brandon.
Question.
What do you think of Donald Glover, and would you like him to continue?
Well, you are really trying to win this friggin' pen, aren't you? I mean, I kind of led you up to not asking that question, dude. No, it's funny. Go ahead. He's got nice things to say.
Well, what do you think of Donald Glover, and would you like him to?
I think of Donald Glover.
Would you like him to continue playing Orlando?
It's not up to me. As far as I'm concerned, there's only one Lando.
Hell yeah!
And here he is.
A very young man that I will not take away from him. He's a wonderful musician and a wonderful creative entity in his life. So I have a tremendous respect for the young Donald Glover. But there's only one Lando.
For me, the ingredient to Lando Calrissian is him.
I created that character. You know, but what I did, I wanted to make Lando bigger than life. I wanted him to be a universal figure. The full spectrum of colors.
That's a good way to put it.
Very good. The young lady all the way in the back with the beautiful silver hair. Let me have your name, sweetheart, when you're ready.
My name's Phaedra, and kind of playing off that last statement that you made, when the audition process was happening, did you actually audition for Lando, or did you audition for another role?
Audition for any.
Perfect.
They auditioned for you.
Wasn't it kind of like they wanted you?
Just for my wives, I auditioned.
Well, you you know, well, they wanted you to be in the films, right?
They asked me to be in the film.
Yeah.
So it was written for you?
No. To be clear, he went to Kirsch's house. You tell the story.
Well, Kirsch came to my house. And, he came to my house, and we sat and we talked for a long time, and we were both interested in Eastern philosophy and Buddhism and things of that nature. So we had a great meeting, and obviously everybody has to sort of come together to see if they, all right, we'll be able to work well with each other. So anyway, Kirsch came to my house and we sat for a couple of hours just talking about everything but Star Wars.
And he's got me, and I got.
Well, I've had those experiences before. You know, in my first movie, The Last Angry Man, with, I don't know if people are familiar with Paul Muni, who was one of America's great actors, and Luther Adler. I remember Danny Mann, who directed it. He just sat me down in. We were at Columbia Pictures in New York, and we just sat in a big, huge conference room and just talked. And he said to me, I want you to play the character. But I've had situations like that before. But I'm very bad at auditioning, so I never audition. I always say, if you want me to play the character, I'll give you a great character, and I'll give you more than just a great character, maybe, hopefully. And it usually works out that way.
Billy had the privilege, just to interject more on the part too. The role was written. What it is then the creator, George and the producers and Kirsch sit around and they talk about who can fill this role. So Billy has the privilege of being in the same limelight as Sir Alec Guinness and Peter Cushing as being well-known actors to be placed into the role because of what he brought to the role. Because he was huge at that time. And that they needed that.
Yeah, plus I was cute.
That didn't hurt. And we have time for 2 more questions, so the person who can touch the ceiling will get to ask it. Stretching higher. We're going to go to this gentleman right in the front. Name, please.
Adam. My question is, what's the difference between playing a real-life person, like Brian Songs and Lando Calrissian? Like, did you have to study up on how he acted, his mannerisms, or how is it different playing a real person to a fictional character?
All of the above, yeah, you do all of that, yeah. With Gail, he would come around, and, but when I did Gail, he and I had a similar kind of temperament. He was pretty quiet, I'm pretty quiet, introspective. So it worked out just great. So I would just sort of furtively watch this and see what his idiosyncrasies were. And he would catch me watching him, and he didn't want me to notice that he was watching me. So it was a very interesting kind of, there was a distance between us, but it was the relationship was very sort of subdued, underplayed. But I mean, I come from that school, the Stanislavski School of Acting, the method school, and from that era. And so when Stanislavski was introducing his point of view about acting, it really was about you finding your own way to approach the situation. Even with my paintings, the same thing. It depends on the subject matter, and each subject matter introduces a new. I never do it the same way as I do it with something prior or previous. It just depends on what the subject matter is, and I approach it from that perspective.
Excellent question. Okay, last one. Who's got the best question on the planet? Boom. You do? Okay, Darth Maul over here. What's your name?
Ariana. If you could live on any planet in the Star Wars universe, which planet would you live on and why?
Planet?
In the Star Wars universe.
In the Star Wars universe. I like Earth.
That was a good one.
That's not the Star Wars universe. That wasn't the Star Wars universe.
You gotta take care of it. That's all.
It's not the Star
There's
Wars
no going
universe.
back to Alderaan, that's for sure.
It's a valid statement. It's a
That's the
valid
Alderaan.
I like that. You know what? I like that question. So come up. We're going to induct you into the Lando Calrissian. And then I also want to induct. I also want to induct the guy, Brian, who asked them both about the music inspiration. That was a different question. And then the last one I'm going to give, just because I need you to wear it. Like now. Like I'm going to give it to you and you're going to put it on right now. The Lando guy person. Thanks.
Put it on the face.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. Give it up for Corey D.